I'm Chad Sanders at Chad Sand on Instagram. I am a TV writer, author, podcaster, screenwriter. You know me as somebody who makes stuff. All right. Today, we're about to do 20 minutes of Q&A from my last webinar. My next webinar is this Friday, January 16th. You could go sign up right now at the caption in the bio of this video. Now, here's what the questions are about. First one is about dealing with trolls on the internet. Second one is about being shy and changing your account from private to public. The next one is about how do you show up as yourself with urgency, but not out of desperation or looking desperate. The next one is about how do you refocus when something makes you feel deflated, something either in real life or on the internet. The next one is about how do you keep your confidence high or admit your confidence isn't high while you're pretending like it is. And then the last one, maybe the last one, is from an entertainment attorney who has 23,000 subs on YouTube, who wants to pivot to focus on something else, wants to know what to do about their YouTube account. Do you start a new account? Do you change the subject matter? Do you introduce it newly to your audience? Whatever. But let's go back to the top. Here we go. And we're going to fly through these. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I'm hella sensitive. This comes from one of the questions. I'm hella sensitive and have a visceral feeling of anger when the trolls show up and talk shit in the comments. This is why I got off of social media a few years ago. I just got tired of it and the racial slurs, etc. How do you ignore that and not let it give you anxiety? How do you let it roll off your back so you can keep focused? Here's my personal answer. I don't think you can ignore it. I don't think you can let it roll off your back. I think the best thing you can do is set up a process for your social media activity, for the building of your brand on socials, where you don't have to consume so much of those trolls so that you're able to be in the platforms you need to be in to do your job. Here's what my setup looks like. Number one, I use for Instagram, for TikTok, for YouTube, not YouTube as much. I'll come back to that. I use social media almost entirely as an outbound broadcasting device, meaning the use of social media for me as much as I can humanly make it possible, right? Because I'm flawed just like you. I can't get it 100% of the time. But as much as I can, I make it a walkie-talkie where I say the message out. I tell people specifically what I'm looking for in their replies. And if their replies do not fit that framework, if their comments, if their DMs do not fit that framework, the first few times I consume something mean that they're going to say to me, it hurts. I don't think there's any way around that. But once you start detecting the patterns of the people who are showing up to build what you're trying to build, the people who are your tribe versus the people who are here to tear you down and to hurt you, number one, you yourself can put scaffolding around that. You can block people. You can stop reading comments when you see certain avatars because maybe you want the engagement, but you don't want to feel the hurt. You can take breaks from responding to your comments and your DMs. Or if you want to, you can increase your privacy and security settings on these apps so that they do that filtering for you. You can tell them certain terms that you want them to block from your accounts, from your comments, from your DMs, that you want them to screen for you. There are many ways to go about blocking yourself from receiving too much of the venom that can come in through these platforms. But, and I'm going to just be so honest about this, most people who are feeling themselves be weighed down or locked into the tension of the back and forth conflict of social media, it's because they're going there for that tension. I know people, I know famous people, I know influencers who will spend a whole full 2 days just responding to harmful comments, playing defense, sparring with people because they get a thrill, they get a kick out of the poison, out of the venom that they feel in those moments. I think it's bad on the spirit. I think it's bad on the body. I think it's bad for your central nervous system. I don't have the stomach for it. I'm too sensitive. If you're like me, you can't play around with that stuff. If you're like me, you can't play around with that stuff, okay? I said it twice because I burped the first time. I'm sorry. But my advice to you is try your best to make this an outbound broadcasting device where you put your creativity and your voice into it and you don't suck down so much of the venom on the other side, and you especially do not feed the trolls by responding to them and giving them more ammo to keep shooting at you, okay? That's the best advice I can give you. The fact of the matter, the honesty that I can offer to you is that this is a part of this process. And what I'm trying to build into my own process is scaffolding to protect me from it, and a future of what I do in all of this where I don't have to be so present personally myself in the responses to all the comments and the DMs. All right. Number two, as someone a bit shy, how do you go from private to public and feel fully able to engage? Okay, here's the thing that most people do not know about me. I'm a bit shy, all right? I am an introvert. I am somebody who gets a lot of energy from going on a walk in the sun with my dog and thinking. That's something I enjoy a whole lot, okay? I get a lot of energy from things that I can do independently creatively on my own. I felt extremely shy to take on this process of showing up over and over again on the internet so I could build an audience for myself, so I could have direct to consumer access with my products, with my art, right? I felt weighed down by trolls. I felt afraid constantly of how people would view me and judge me. I still feel afraid of those things. I still feel scared all the time when I go in my DMs. Oof, what's somebody going to say to me? Are they going to criticize me? Are they going to threaten me? Are they going to be a jerk to me? Are they going to rush me? Are they going to be pushy to me? Am I going to spend the rest of my day fretting and ruminating over the thing they said to me? I still feel all that stuff. What helps is this: being thoughtful and specific about what you do and do not share on the internet. Specifically, if you are trying to build a business or if you're trying to build a platform for your art, focusing your energy on what it is that the audience for that art and for that business, the consumers, might want, spending less of that time pushing energy into showing pictures of your family, showing pictures of your social life, showing, talking about things that have nothing to do with that stuff. You get to choose really what your platform is a vessel for. You get to choose what the subject matter is. You're gonna, at a certain point, if all you come and talk about every single day is turtles, people who do not care about turtles will stop visiting, right? And you will not have to deal with the scary feelings of, I am being outwardly visible about turtles, because it's about turtles. It's not about self. It's not about, you're not just doing the thing where people show up and rant and give all their thoughts and feelings and emotions, leaving themselves open to the criticism of others about themselves. You are here giving an offering to an audience that came for a specific reason. Now, sometimes the audience is going to say, I don't like that thing that you offered me. I don't like that. I think it's ugly. I think it's gross. I think it's smelly. I think you're smelly. That's going to happen. But if it's focused on the thing, the vessel, right? What I offer people is unconventional ways to launch themselves into creative industries. What I offer people is processes that they have independent control over to use to build themselves a marketed audience, a consumer base, something that will help them grow their business. I do not focus a lot of energy on, this is what I did this past weekend, because I don't want to know what other people think about what I did this past weekend. I don't want their criticisms of my real self and life. And so I keep those out of it, all right? How do you show up as yourself with urgency, but not out of desperation or looking desperate? Why do you have to? Why is it bad to look desperate? Why is it bad to look urgent and desperate? Now, there's a difference here, right? If you look like you're a grifter by being desperate, if you look like you're trying to take advantage of others because of your desperation, that's a bad thing. But if you look breathlessly committed to the purpose that you have here, that's a good thing. There is a form of desperation here that I think, there's a form of desperation I think people see in me, which is like, this dude is sprinting towards something. He's chasing it like an animal. I think that people respond to that on some level. It's honest, it's relatable. And if you're the person that I can actually help, I think you want to know that I will desperately, urgently be committed to helping you because it's in alignment with the path that I'm on. I think people can tell you're desperate, whether you're trying to show them that or not. For instance, I know rich folks, and I know upper middle class folks, right? The people who have good jobs at the big companies, you know what I mean? And they're married to someone who has a good job at a big company, and they have a pretty high salary, and they have nice cars, they have a nice house, and they have a kid or two, and they've done all the things, all the trappings to make it look like something is going good for them, to make others believe they are living in surplus, in abundance, like they got it, you know what I mean? But we can all feel the desperation in those people. They don't like each other. Sometimes they don't like their kids. Sometimes they wish they didn't have all that stuff because it means they have to work nonstop for somebody else to pay those bills. We know what desperation looks like. You can't hide it. So don't try to hide your desperation. Be clear and honest about where it's coming from and how it serves the purpose that you're offering to other people. My desperation comes from I want freedom. I want to be able to make what I want to make when I want to make it and still pay my bills and not have to worry about money and not have to worry about doing the song and dance of Hollywood networking and groveling for other people and doing this weird thing where you bend yourself all up in weird ways to try to hold on to certain relationships because maybe 20 years from now they might help you. I don't want to do that stuff. That's my desperation. That's what I'm running away from. And what I'm running toward is the freedom of having independence over how I create. If you build your desperation into your process and into that vision, let them see the desperation. Let them see it. How do you refocus when something makes you feel deflated? Criticism, even friends who are discouraging, negative comments in person and online. It hasn't stopped me yet, but it takes a while to refocus. Yes, it does. Every time a friend is passive aggressive, is insulting, tries to hurt you, tries to deflate you, tries to grab a hold of your hot air balloon while it's rising, that hurts. Hurts when family does it, hurts when friends do it. It does slow you down if you're like me. I'm not one of those people who I'm like, when people are assholes to me, it gives me fuel, man. It gives me competitive edge that I need to chase. I don't create from that place. I don't enjoy that place. I hate that place. That's not fun at all. You know what I love? You know what I love to be around? People who can see me. And even if they can't see exactly what it is that I'm trying to achieve with each creative project, they can see me so clearly that they believe in it because they believe in me. They know that I'll get through the nasty muck of the ways that it's wrong and a Frankenstein and doesn't work and yada yada. And they're able to give me feedback that is constructive and useful to me because they're focused on giving me something of value. Those are the kinds of people I want to have around me. You know who I don't want to have around me? People who are afraid that if I go too far in this, they'll get left behind. People who are afraid that my creative expression or the joy I get out of this is somehow a reflection badly on themselves. I don't want people who project on me. Okay. So I'm saying that to say I relate to you. It is hard to refocus because your brain and your body's telling you something harmful is around you. It's hard to refocus when people treat you that way because something is telling you I'm in danger here. And while that danger might not be existential, it might not be like death or life or death, as they say. What it could be, which is very important and very significant, is it could reroute the way you think about yourself and about your vision and about your joy and your passion for this thing you're working on. You can't take that. We cannot live with that. We, porous human beings, sensitive, creative people, ambitious entrepreneurs, we cannot live leaking energy to people who are even friends who are trying to hurt us intentionally or unconsciously. If you care about the relationship enough, this is my lived experience and advice to you. If you care about the relationship enough to try to repair it so that you can live with it while you build, then you have to have a conversation with yourself and that person. It has to be honest, and it will risk that person lashing out at you. It will risk that person hiding from you after the conversation for the potential upside of having a better version of your relationship that doesn't deplete your energy the same way. And if you don't care about the relationship enough to try to repair it, then we don't have anything to talk about. You know exactly what to do. How do you admit your confidence isn't as high as you pretend it is? Well, one way is you just said it, right? I can admit my confidence isn't as high as I pretend it is. I don't even think confidence should be rated on a high or low. There are times when I feel confident. There are times when I don't feel confident. I have confidence in certain areas of my life. I know that with a vision in mind of exactly what I want something to say or be in front of people when they receive it, I have a high level of confidence that I can execute that. I have a low level of confidence that I can dunk a basketball. I have a low level of confidence that I am the best driver in the world. I have a low level of confidence in a lot of other things. And yet, I have a high level of confidence in my ability to show up and try to do those things even when it's not working for me. because I have a high level of confidence that I can learn by adapting, by failing and tweaking, by trying in a different way, by getting feedback from people who can help redirect me. I have a high level of confidence that if I put certain things through my process of trial, error, adaptation, retrial, that eventually I can get a good outcome. I can get an outcome that makes me happy, that makes other people happy. And so pretending to be confident is not that important on these apps. What's important is consistency, is showing up over and over and over again, because that's your process. Your process is what matters, not your image. Does this person think I'm confident and that person doesn't? Does this person think I'm pretty and this person thinks I'm ugly? That doesn't matter that much. What matters is that you show up enough times as yourself for people to choose, so that the people who really love what you're about and what you're going to offer them are always rallying to the ball. And all those other people, they come and go real fast. They disappear. The people who love you and what you're going to offer them, first of all, they're going to make you feel more confident because they truly love what you're about. But also, they're going to accept you on the days when you're not feeling confident, because it comes and goes. All right. Last one. I'm an entertainment attorney, creative consultant, shifting to more supporting culture as an asset class. I have an unrelated YouTube channel with 23,000 subs. How can I use my channel to help me shift my work to the consulting and advocacy I love? Okay. I want to pull back what that question is saying and focus on what's important and relevant to you. This is someone saying, I've built a platform of 23,000 followers, subscribers on one app, and they've been following me and subscribing me as I've been bringing to them one specific identity. Now I want to shift to a different identity. What do I do? My answer to you is, most of that identity shift, the most important part of all of it, is going to be in your own mind. It's going to be about you saying to yourself, am I a fraud if I change who I am in front of these people? Are they all going to abandon me if I start talking about something different? Am I going to turn these people against me if they think I baited and switched them, where I built this audience in one way and then I disappeared and became a different thing? A funny version of this is when the presidency of the United States turns hands, like when it goes from one president to the next, and the Twitter handles and all that stuff, they stay the same. And so where you have someone on one side of the political spectrum speaking from that Twitter handle one day, literally the next day, there's someone diametrically opposed to their views speaking from that same handle the next day. And of course, literally millions of people probably unfollow. But some of those people stick because they're in the middle. Or maybe they secretly were always about the other thing. The same thing might happen for your audience. The quicker you can shift your own gears toward that other mission and continue to make use of the 23,000 subs who are there, who might like what you're bringing to them, the new thing, and might want to share it with their friends so it grows, the better. But that's an internal shift, which is to say, don't spend too much time, if you can avoid it, thinking about, how do I position this shift to the audience? It's not a big enough audience yet at 23,000 subs for that to matter. If it were 230,000 subs, then I would say, okay, you might need to do some massaging of how you're turning the boat here. With those 23,000 subs, let's say you lost 3,000 subs, right? Let's say those people are just like, I'm out, I don't want this, which I think is unlikely. You're gonna replace those with another 3,000 subs faster if you just shift course and move toward the new identity than if you spend a lot of time hemming and hawing over it. All right, that was 20 minutes of Q&A. I'm Chad Sanders, at Chad Sand on Instagram. You need to subscribe right now to this video. You need to share it with people. I'm about to build this like this. Be a part of it. Share this with somebody and subscribe. Go to the caption in this video. Sign up for my webinar this Friday, How to Launch Your Vertical Series. I will see you again. Goodbye.